And we are back with some more cards. Part 2 of the preview. Let's get this going. So we got the Balloon Merchant. 4 cost 3/5. Battlecry. Give your divine shield. No. Give your silver hand recruits +1 attack and divine shield. Honestly, a really good Battlecry, honestly. And a 4 cost 3/5 isn't even bad, because if you look at Shin-Chi Shieldmaster, 4 cost 3/5 with Taunt, this gives a lot bigger benefit. So helping like a Silver Hand Recruit type deck this could look at. Because I know this could help a Silver Hand Recruit in Wild especially. Because I've made an aggressive version of that. And now it gives more options for Standard as well for Silver Hand type stuff where you're maybe using your hero power a lot. So that could help that out. Bladed Lady, 6 cost 6/6 demon with rush. Cost 1 if your hero has 6 or more attack. Which, even though Demon Hunter has a lot of attack in its class and weapons, getting 6 attack on one turn is still quite difficult. And very situational if you want to have that much attack. Because generally you want to use just about probably enough to finish off a minion with Taunt. Which generally it's probably not at 6 or more. But if you do have that, this costing 1 is a very good benefit. Plus it has Rush, so it's very good. Could be very good in an aggressive deck. With maybe clearing out taunts to get some of your other stuff to face, and then this can go to face afterwards. So this could honestly be very good for an aggressive deck to clear out taunts with your hero attacking then as well. Carousel Griffin, 5 cost 5/5 Mech for Paladin. Divine Shield, Corrupt. It gains +3/3 and Taunt. Since it's middle of the road, the Corrupt is a bit more difficult to pull off, which makes the Corrupt effect which makes the Corrupt effect harder to get, which means they can make the Corrupt effect a lot bigger. So I think giving 3/3 and Taunt is, I think, a relatively fine trade-off. Because it costs 5, so it's a little bit more difficult to pull off in the first place. I really like it. Very good, strong card then as well, because you have a 5 cost 8/8 with Divine Shield and Taunt, which is very, very good value. And I know Mech Paladin, an aggressive deck with a few mechs in it, was a thing. I don't know if this would probably fit best in probably a control Paladin, to be honest. Darkmoon Tonk, 7 cost 8/5 Mech 4 Hunter. Death Rattle, fire 4 missiles at random enemies that deal 2 damage each. Death Rattle's a bit weak. Stats of a 7 cost 8/5 is fine, especially with the Death Rattle to cause an additional 8 damage, which I think is perfectly fair then. It's still kind of a small effect because it randomly only does 2 spread out. If it was maybe instead fires 2 that deal 4 each, I think that would honestly be better. Because it's a bit less random. And could be a bit less spread out, I should say. Just this of how it could be, you could get like super unlucky and just it could suck the Death Rattle. So I think overall the card is perfectly fine. Probably would go into like, I'm guessing probably like a Death Rattle Hunter kind of thing. We've seen plenty of that. Don't feed the animals. 2-cost hunter spell. Give all beasts in your hand +1/1. If you corrupt this, give them +2/+2 instead. This is a very easy corrupt to get off. But also, if you're doing the corrupt, you're having less stuff in your hand, which then it's a weird balance. Well, most likely you're probably going to play 2 corrupted as a spell that's more expensive, so then you're not getting rid of any beasts that could be buffed. So I think that's fair. Overall, I think it's not a bad card, but I don't know if it's going to see too much play, to be honest. I just don't see a hand buff type hunter card being used right now. I always see like more aggressive hunters, for example. So I just don't see like a hand buff one being used much. Expendable performers. We got more of them. If they die, we get more. It's okay. So a 7-cost Demon Hunter spell. You summon 7 1/1 Eladrin with Rush. If those 7 die, you summon 7 more. It's an interesting card. Really expensive. And I don't think it's worth it. Even though it's really cool, I like the concept of it. And the name really fits it really well. Like, I love the concept of, hey, we lost a few people at the circus today. We'll just hire some more. It's okay. They're cheap. So it's just, the flavor of it is really cool, but because of Demon Hunter being so aggressive, it just doesn't work, I don't think, well for it. So, I don't think it's going to be around much, but I love the card. It's funny, for example. Oh, man. Alright, Fire Breather. 4-cost, 4/3 demon for Warlock. Battlecry, deal 2 damage to all minions except demons. This very much is going towards a demon heavy deck for Warlock, which has always tried to be a thing, but the current demons in the current standard isn't very good. So right now, because this is honestly a pretty good demon in my opinion. Battlecry is very good. Stats, fine. You just need more demon support. So depending on what we get more of, we could possibly see a demon warlock come out of this. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled. Hammer of Naru. 6-cost, 3/3 Paladin weapon. Battlecry, you summon a 6/6 Holy Elemental with Taunt. So 6-cost, 6/6, pretty normal with Taunt, for example. Well, actually, a 6-cost, 6/5 Taunt is pretty normal. This is giving an extra health, making it an elemental, and you get a 3/3 weapon. So I think the value on this is very good. Probably would fit into a control paladin, most likely. If that becomes a thing, for example. Because the sheer amount of value in this card is honestly pretty darn good. I like the value. Plenty of stats that get included in it. I think it's just good. Horrendous Growth. 2-cost, 2/2 corrupt. Gains +1/1. Can be corrupted endlessly. This is a very strange card. Because it can get huge and then you play it for 2. But you gotta hold it in your turn for so long then. And then when you play it, it could just instantly be like assassinated or something. So in theory, it's really good. but it takes so, for example, it takes so long to build up, and how many cards you have to play that costs more than it. Yeah, it's not hard to play something that costs more than 2, but you have to play so many cards for it to be like a lot better. And it's like, ooh, do I want to play it now? Or should I wait a little bit? Because I have some more cards that I could play to make it bigger. So it's just like, it feels bad when you actually play. Because it's like, oh, I could have buffed it more if I kept it in my hand, for example. So it's just, it's weird. I like it. I like the idea of it. It's a strange one. I'll give it that. It's a strange one. Occult Conjurer. 4 cost 4/4. Battlecry. If you control a secret, you summon a copy of this. So you summon a copy of the minion if you have a secret, which is pretty nice, honestly. So for 4, you can get 2 4/4s, or if you had some sort of hand buff, it could be a little bit bigger. This, I think, could go very well with that spell damage card from last expansion. That it's like, hey, if you have any spell damage on the board, you summon a copy of it. So you could have secrets, you could have spell damage, you can have stuff just summoning copies of themselves. It's just a lot of this also has a lot of value again, which it's not hard to have secrets. This could go very well into Wild, especially with the aggressive secret mage. This gives a bit more versatility, honestly, and a lot more stats a lot quicker, because you're playing a lot of secrets really early, so you can get this out big very quickly. So it's just good for that, in my opinion. All right, we also have a little petting zoo, a little bit calmer than everything else we've seen, because it's only a 3-cost hunter spell that summons a 3/3 Strider, and you repeat for each secret you control. Oh my goodness, that value. If you have like a secret hunter, oh boy, I got 5 secrets. For 3, I would like to summon 6 3/3 Striders, which I'm guessing are beasts. I'm guessing Striders are beasts. Holy crap. I love it. End of story. It can cost so much value, and it's so, like, hunters in standard run secrets already, so this just gives a lot more value to those decks. Prize Plunderer. 1 cost 2/1 pirate for rogue. Combo, you deal 1 damage to a minion for each other card you played this turn. So it's a pretty simple effect. 1 cost 2 1s, pretty basic. And the combo honestly isn't that great. This probably goes better for like a pirate rogue or an aggressive rogue, something along those lines. But probably not tempo. It's too, because you're not going to want to play this on turn 1, which ruins the tempo already. So probably not a very good tempo card. But like aggressive, or because it has to be to a minion, so the aggressive might not even be the best option for it. So most likely really just a pirate rogue, maybe? Not great. Renowned Performer. 4 cost 3/3 for Demon Hunter. It has Rush and Death Rattle. You summon 2 1/1 assistants. Big difference. I'm like, assassins? Those are 2 cost 1/1s with poisonous and stealth. That's amazing, incredible. No, it's just assistants with taunt. I don't get why the assistants have taunt, but alright. It's a fine card, but probably just doesn't fit in Demon Hunter very well. It's not aggressive enough. Maybe could go into like a Soul Fragment Demon Hunter, but that's about it probably. It's just too slow to be an aggressive deck. 3/3 Rush is fast, but it also can't go face. Demon Hunter, I think, has better options. So, it's fine. Not great for Demon Hunter, but it may find its way somewhere in Demon Hunter. Maybe. Reverend Rascal. 3 cost 3/3 Battlecry. Destroy mana crystal for both players. I never understood this when I first initially downloaded it to put it in here for the preview. It doesn't make sense. Because you're destroying mana crystals for both players. Your opponent gets their turn immediately after yours, getting that mana crystal back already. Yes, it takes, like, if you're both building up, it takes now a little longer to get to the end. Like, this is very painful against Ramp Druid, for example. But that's about it. Which Ramp Druid isn't a thing anymore. Really not. And plus, if you're both at 10 already, you play this, your opponent gets back to 10 already, and then your turn comes back around, and you're at 10 again already. So it's just weird. 3 cost 3/3 is already understated. It's just taking a little bit longer to get back to building back up. That's about it. Because if you're both, like, for example, let's say you play this on turn 4, so you're both at 4. You destroy an opponent's mana crystal and your own. You're both down to 3. Your opponent plays. They're just at 4 again, and then you're at 4 again. So it just takes a little longer to build up to 10, but that's about all it does. Not a big fan of this card. I'll be honest. It's not good. Also, of how the picture is depicted, it probably should be a demon in the tag. But no. Rigged Faire game. 3 cost Mage Secret. If you didn't take any damage during your opponent's turn, you draw 3 cards. And that is a lot of card draw. And I could see that being very useful in my aggro Secret Mage for Wild. Because card draw is sometimes an issue if you don't get Aluneth. That's basically it. If you don't get your weapon that draws you 3 cards each turn, you're going to run out of stuff. But anyway, for Standard, still amazing value. 3 cards for 3 is just good. Basically, all you got to do is, hey, don't take damage during your opponent's turn. You're good to go on any of your opponent's turn. It doesn't matter which turn. Just if you don't take damage, you get 3 cards. Amazing value, just good. The Ringmaster's Baton. 2 cost, 1/3 weapon for Warrior. After your hero attacks, give a Mech, Dragon, and Pirate in your hand, +1/+1. So now they're trying to do a mixed tribe type deck again, which they did back in, what was it called? Carousel. Back in Carousel, with the Mech, Dragon, and Beast instead. Didn't work. This time they're going to try Mech, Dragon, and Pirate. So, if you want to have a lot of fun with it, you could probably go into Wild and play a Mech, Dragon, Pirate, Beast deck if you really felt like it. Except the Mech, Dragon, Beast deck is generally either Priest or not Priest. Paladin or Hunter is which direction I like to go with it. This is looking more... This looks like it's going to be Warrior, most likely. Maybe some other classes, but right now I've only seen Warrior stuff for it. There's another one that builds off of this, but it's only the 2 cards that I've seen so far for it. The weapon is a little underpowered. The effect is very good if you're playing that type of deck, which, is there going to be enough support for it? We will have to see. We'll move on. Ring Toss. 4-cost Mage spell. Discover a secret and cast it. Corrupt, you discover 2 secrets instead. Very good for a few reasons, mostly because a lot of value, especially if you corrupt it. 4 costs for 2 secrets? I think that's pretty fun and pretty good. It's like that secret deck I keep talking about. Very difficult to pull off because it's generally cheaper cards. But for like a control deck, very good. Very easy to probably get that corrupt off because you probably got flame strikes, blizzards, fireballs maybe to control, stuff like that. So it's got, well, fireball actually isn't expensive enough. My bad. But like you've got stuff to easily corrupt it, and then it's a lot of value. So I think it's pretty good. Stilt Stepper, 3-cost 4/1 Demon Hunter card. Battlecry, you draw a card. If you play it this turn, you give your hero +4 attack this turn. So if you play the card that you draw, you give your hero +4 attack this turn. I think this is a very good addition to an aggressive deck. Because, yes, you maybe don't initially play this on turn 3. Because a 4/1 isn't good. Maybe you play this later. So, like, turn 5, for example. Because you've got, like, because it's an aggressive deck, you maybe have, like, cheaper stuff. So, turn 5, you play this. You draw a card that maybe costs 1 or 2, hopefully. You play that, you get 4 attack on your hero, and you can go face. A lot of value, and you can hit hard. And now they also have the Stilt Stepper to deal with, which they know is probably also going to go face. So I think a very good addition to the aggressive deck of Demon Hunter. Tent Trasher. 5-cost 5/5 Dragon for a warrior. It has Rush and costs 1 less for each friendly minion with a unique minion type. So once again, actually no, then there is some other ones. This kind of goes with the Pirate, Dragon, and Mech deck. But it wants to do even more unique minion types, which probably is a bit more difficult to get, like maybe a beast in there. Well, maybe. Keyword. Oh no, actually no, wait. I'm trying. The other 3 was actually not that. It was actually Murloc, Beast, Dragon. That's right. So I mean, then in Wild, you could, with this guy, you could do Dragon, that's him, and some other stuff. You got Murlocs, you got Mech, you got Beast, and you have, what didn't I say? Pirate. And you have Pirate. There's 5 unique types. And then this is free to play as a 0-cost 5/5 rush. So it has a very good incentive on having unique minion types. Will it work out? We will have to see when there's more stuff released. Ticketmaster, 3-cost 4/3 Death Rattle. Oh, for Rogue, sorry. Death Rattle, you shuffle 3 tickets into your deck. When drawn, you summon a 3/3 Plush Bear. A lot of value, for sure. Bit strange. It's a very delayed stats, but it's still, I think, quite good. Because you got plenty of stats. 3-cost 4/3 is already fine. Plus you're getting all that extra stats. I just don't see it going into rogues right now. There's no like it would be good for like a control deck, for example, but rogue doesn't really have control right now. They have, I think, mostly tempo, I want to say. I'm honestly not sure. I'd have to look again. Wicked Whisper. You discard your lowest cost card and you give your minions +1/+1. I think this is a great addition to Zoo Warlock. Because, hey, maybe there's something in your hand that works sometimes, but not so great other times, and it's a 1 cost. You're kind of getting to your more expensive stuff, so 3s and 4s kind of thing. And you're like, hey, let's get rid of that 1 cost and kind of just buff the rest, because I think that's a fair trade-off. Because I know I've seen Grim Rally as well in Zoo decks, and that's a buff to the board, and you destroy a minion on the board. So this is similar, except it does it to your hand. But you don't really, you kind of pick the minion, you just pick the lowest cost card. Which, if it's a Flame Imp, you're probably going to play the Flame Imp first, and then probably do Wicked Whispers. Because Flame Imp is always good in Zoo Warlock, to be honest. So I think that card could see Zoo play. Alright, now we are to the legendaries. We have the Nameless one, a 4-cost 4/4 priest legendary. Battlecry, you choose a minion, you become a 4/4 copy of it, and then you silence it. Which is interesting, because generally you want to have that effect, and that's why you chose that minion. There's not really much stuff that you want to copy and then have a silenced version of it. I mean, I guess Silence Priest, this would maybe go for. Because I can't remember actually, like, Supreme Abyssal would be great silenced. I think Silence Priest kind of works in Standard, but there's not as many options for, like, silencing stuff. Like, big stuff that's just like, can't attack, and then you silence it, and then you're good to go. I know there was the soul one that you silenced a minion and then copied it. And the copied was also silenced, and that card was really good, and it looked like it was looking towards a Silence Priest, but I think it ended up only being like tier 3 or tier 4 Silence Priest. This adds a little bit more to it, but probably not enough, to be honest. But that's probably most likely where it would go. Ringmaster Whatley, a 5-cost 3/5 legendary for warrior. Battlecry, you draw a mech, you draw a dragon, and you draw a pirate. That's right, we are back to that. Once again, don't know if the deck would work or not. Obviously, it would be a mech dragon pirate deck. Don't know if there's going to be enough support. So far, we've had about 3 cards that would support it. That's about it so far. We'll probably see more. It's looking like it's really just going to be warrior thing. But we will have to see what direction it leads us. ETC God of Metal. 2-cost 1/4 legendary for warrior. After a friendly rush minion attacks, you deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. Interesting. Trying to go for an aggressive warrior. Probably won't work. So overall, it could just be a card that you just kind of have because you just have a lot of rush minions in your deck. So maybe control, try to get a little damage off as you're rushing to kill other minions on the board, and then you he hopefully then stays out there and you keep dealing damage to the enemy hero by having rush stuff, just clearing the board to keep him alive. It's probably the only direction I would see him go. I mean, if your rush stuff survives as well, then your rush minions keep attacking, and it keeps dealing that 2 damage to the enemy hero. Has the same stats as Armor Smith. Armor Smith gives armor to be more controlling. This one really isn't too controlling. It's okay, I think. Grand Empress Shakarzar. Shekzar. I don't know. 6 cost, 5/7 legendary for Rogue. Battlecry, you discover a card in your deck, and you draw all the copies of it. So you pick a card you want drawn, and you draw them all, of however many you have. It's an interesting concept. It's probably really good for a deck that maybe shuffles a lot of stuff into their deck, so maybe that's what they're looking for with Rogue here. With Gang Up's in Wild, Lab Recruiter's in Wild now. What cards do you really have that shuffle too much anymore then? Oh, the Alec from the last expansion? He's only going to do 1-off copies though. We have Togwaggle's Scheme. But then that could be way too much stuff to draw then though. And then you might just be burning a lot of stuff. I don't know. I'll have to look more into this one to just see if it's useful at all. It's fine. But it's not like, whoa. Because you could just like most likely you're probably going to draw, what, 2? If you still got 2 copies in your deck, you might draw 2. Because there's not too much shuffling that I can think of that's in standard right now. I'm probably missing a lot of things, but you could draw a bunch of albatrosses if your opponent plays bad luck albatrosses. There we go. This is a tech card. Beat all those albatrosses. There we go. Boom. No. Alright. High Exarch Ural. Ural? Maybe? I don't know. 8 cost, 7/5 legendary for Paladin. Battlecry, if your deck has no neutrals, so we're continuing this trend of Paladins not having neutral cards. You gain Rush, Lifesteal, Taunt, and Divine Shield. Holy crap. This is literally a shoe-in card for the no neutral Paladin deck. And it's just good. That's a lot of value. 7/5 with Rush, Lifesteal, Taunt, and Divine Shield. You get good healing. You can attack right away. Protects you. And the Divine Shield protects the first hit it takes while it's rushing for a heal. Easy shoe-in for the no-neutral card Paladin. Okay, this one is just weird. Ilganot. I think that sounds right. 4 cost, 2/6 legendary for Demon Hunter, Lifesteal. Your Lifesteal damages the enemy hero instead of healing you. I think that is a perfect concept for Demon Hunter, because then Lifesteal, any Lifesteal card you have in Demon Hunter can be used to be highly aggressive, which is what Demon Hunter does. Highly aggressive crap that upsets probably lots of people. So I think a very good addition to the aggressive Demon Hunter deck, because it could deal a lot of damage with. Now you have options of putting those Lifesteal cards into your Demon Hunter decks. Maximum Blastenheimer. Blastenheimer, 6 cost, 4/4, legendary for Hunter. Battlecry, you summon a minion from your deck. it attacks the enemy hero, and then it dies. Honestly, kind of sucks to be completely. I'm gonna be completely honest. This card kind of sucks. 6 cost 4/4 isn't good. You're getting some minion out of your deck. It hits the enemy hero and then just dies. So you don't want to put big stuff into your deck. You want high attack. So is this supposed to be meant to be an aggressive card? Because it's not going to be an aggressive card. Because the stats on it are bad. And then the attack to the enemy hero is aggressive. But you don't even get to keep that minion. Because you don't want to put really big stuff into your deck, because let's say you pull out the Lich King, for example. Lich King goes face and then dies. It's like, well, that sucks. I would have liked to, keep him, and I rather would have just played him and tried to keep him on the board to get value out of his end of turn Death Knight card abilities. But no, that would be convenient and nice and helpful. Instead, you get something just thrown into the enemy for damage and then it dies. I don't like it. That will end off part 2. I will see you next time, which not sure when that'll be. Probably a few days. For part 3. So this has been Winks, and I will see you for part 3 very soon.